Feed your spirit man daily, hourly. I mean, I don't have to tell. Almost universally, you guys will say things got hard and not easier after you got more committed. Is that just a coincidence? So what are the options? You can get less committed, you can backslide, you can go through life being guilty, or you can say, okay, you know what, I get it now. I'm going to leverage the whole armor. I'm going to leverage my community. I'm going to leverage the word. I'm going to leverage the spirit. I'm going to leverage books. I'm going to renew my mind. I'm not going to waste a second. A second's not going to be wasted. If I'm in the shower, I'm going to be renewing my mind. If I'm communing, I'm going to be renewing my mind. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to stay up late. I'm going to watch less TV. I'm going to get around people who are ahead of me in a race. I'm going to let them pace me. That's the mindset of a champion. We have a teaching on that. It's called the mindset of a champion. That's how champions think. These great athletes, Kobe Bryant's spent the summer working out with Hakeem Olajuwon so he could learn low post moves. Wow. Guy's been in the league 13, 14 years. Hakeem's a center, Kobe's a guard, but you know why? Because he realizes the defenses aren't going to get easier on him, so he's got to get wiser, better, stronger, more prepared. Are you better prepared this month than you were last month? Your goal is every time your head hits the pillow to say, I'm better prepared. I may not be winning like I like, but I sure ain't losing like I used to. But that's not going to come from a 45-minute sermonette. Satan loves people who get emotional. We talk about that in reasons why people don't get God's best. The parable of the talents refers to them as emotional hearers. Wow. Satan loves that. The Christian life's lived when you leave these four walls. The Christian life is lived when you leave your church. That's when it starts. He loves emotional hearers. You got to change your diet. You're in a spiritual street fight. If you're like me, say, man, I wish you would get. It's not. It's not going to get easier. You need someone who's man or woman enough to tell you it's not going to get easier. You have to exercise more authority. You have to renew your mind. You have to change habits. You have to change associations. Stop trying to jam your 12 by 10 dream in 5 by 7 brains. You want to hang out with people who are excited about what you're doing. Not player haters, not toxic people, not skeptics. Okay, last but not least. The third thing that makes me go, and I want to say for the record that I'll say many of the people in this room, I thank God as I've watched you grow. I've seen your commitment. I've seen your service to both here, and I know your commitment at your local church. This doesn't apply to you, but some it does, being honest. And I've always wondered why people want to give God so little and expect so much. I've never understood that. Now, you guys saved me today because all day long I was thinking about how to bring up this first point, but because you were so compliant and I appreciate your maturity. But I'll give you a very practical example, and then Dennis and I were talking about another one. But a very practical example is, it's like pulling teeth to ask people to move up and fill out the seats. I mean, every week it's like, okay, and it's like, I'm like about this close to like a flesh attack saying, come on, we got to get going. And it's like people move up a half a seat, then they move up one seat, then they move. And I thank God that didn't happen today, but I can't help but thinking, these are the same people who want God to answer them quickly. And then when he doesn't answer them quickly, then they get in resentment or bitterness. Why didn't you respond quickly? God's saying, why didn't you respond quickly? I asked you to move up. You gave the brother 14 attitudes and 3 lip curls and an eye roll. Why doesn't God answer my prayers quickly? Why don't you move up quickly? When you have an opportunity to obey, you want to be quick. You got to move up quickly so God answers your prayers quickly. This is straight talk, no chaser. Some of y'all ain't gonna like me when this is all over, but you'll thank me at some point. But Dennis and I were sharing a story. I gave a male perspective teaching, Male Perspective Friday on my birthday. And I made the announcement at 7 o'clock right before we start. Ladies, so good to have you here. Happy birthday, Chris. Give Chris a shout out. The whole deal. And I said, now listen. I said, today's my birthday. I said, but I love you so much. I wanted to be a blessing to you. I said, but check it out. When 8:30 comes, I'm going to celebrate my birthday. See ya. So if you have a question, ask the question during Q&A, because I'm not going to be giving private Q&A sessions after 8:30 because it's my birthday. Dennis and Ken will tell you, without fail, 8:30 rolls along, and Sister Shake-A-Lot comes strolling down the aisle. Brother Chris. I had a question about that point. I was like, no, you don't have a question. You don't have a question. You think you have a question. But my watch tells me you don't have a question. And this woman was indignant. Dennis and Ken will tell you. She left with an attitude. It was almost like Now, I'm thinking, I'm somebody who, I say this humbly, it's supposed to be a spiritual authority in the context of that room, not in her personal life, not once we leave the building, but in the context of that room. And she's not going to submit to my request. Why is God going to bring Boaz to her? It just makes you go, And her takeaway is that Brother Chris, you think he all that? You think he all that? You can't get near him. He just want people in the audience. He just want people, and all these crazy conclusions. It's sad, and she won't understand. I've watched this 100 times. She won't understand, and I guarantee that attitude follows her relationship to relationship, and she doesn't understand how she's driving guys away, how she is doing things that repel guys and not make them drawn to her. And it's real subtle. It's amazing. You know, and this happens in many areas. It happens in serving. Obviously, the biggest area it happens is financially. You know, we've had people over recently as we get ready to transition, and it's almost comical to me because Mel and I, we put it on our heart that we wanted to just bless people's socks off, and we didn't want them to bring anything. We know times are tough. We didn't want them to spend a penny. And do you know, we almost had to beg people not to bring anything. And even when we begged them, they still would bring sometimes a can of soda or some flowers. And we did not want anything. Yet, do you know that that's natural food. When it comes time for spiritual food, we almost have to beg people at times. Not everybody in this room, but beg people to give. It's like we go to restaurants and the service is horrible, but I'm not going to let him. I'm bigger than that. We give the guy 15% and don't even think twice about it. You serve your food cold. And I wonder what God's thinking. And again, you know what I'm doing with this teaching? I'm inviting all of us to examine our thought processes. I mean, my wife and I, we were like, we would beg people, please don't bring anything. We just want to be a blessing to you. And people could not let themselves show up empty-handed. Wow. For natural food. And I say that because this is going to lead into these are tough economic times. So we realize many people may not have finances, but you always want to be able to sow, even if you sow good attitude or you sow service or something. One of the most encouraging things that has happened to me is when someone's walked up to me afterwards and they say, Brother Chris, I just want to let you know I appreciate what you guys do here. I just want to let you know, bro, I've been laid off for like 6 months and things have been tight. But if there's anything I can do to help you, can you need some typing? That means so much. What hurts is to share our vision and to have people look you in the eye and say, not the silence cuts. So I want to share some stories because I want to encourage you. And please, I don't want anyone to feel condemned. That's not the last thing you need to do is pick a place midweek to come and get beat up. But what I'm doing is, this is the word I want you to take away. And this is from the Lord. The word that I want you to take away is I'm inviting you to think differently about some stuff. I'm sending out an invitation. I'm not condemning. I'm not beating you up. But I'm inviting you